Hey, hi everyone, welcome back again. Let's start the session. Okay, so we will do the quiz at the end of the session today. Okay, um, let's start with the Python. Okay, so in the last session, we were discussing about what we call conditional statements. Okay, and I will give you a quick recap what we had discussed till now. Okay, so we are using the conditional statement, okay, so that when there is a situation when something happens and we have to do something, okay, okay, so when there is something happens, okay, and there might be a possibility that we have to do something when a particular condition is satisfied, and we have to do something else when the condition is not satisfied. Okay, so for example, we have taken this one example where we wanted to check whether for a given dimension, if my length is a square, sorry, my figure is a square or a rectangle. So I have a length and breadth of a four-dimensional figure, okay, four-side figure, and I wanted to check. So we know that if the length and breadth are equal, then the shape will be a square. And if it is not equal, then it will be a rectangle. Okay, so this is something what we had discussed till now, and it's very simple. And if I talk with the if statement, so if, then you have to provide a condition, okay, and then a colon. Then after that, you have to provide the body of if, okay. Then you have to use the else. When this condition is not satisfied, then else block will be executed. So this condition is always a Boolean value, true or false. If the condition returns true, then whatever you have written inside the if statement, that will be executed. And if condition is false, then whatever you have written inside the else statement, that will be executed. Simple as that, right? Now, so this is what we had discussed, and we tried to solve couple of problems into that, whether we solve this particular problem, like whether a number is an even number or an odd number. Okay, so for that we use the modulo operator. Okay, modulo operator basically gives us a remainder. Okay, so num modulo 2. So this is a remainder. Okay, so if a remainder is 0, then the number is completely divisible. And what is the even numbers definition? If a number is divisible by 2. Okay, so we are just calculating the this particular value. So num modulo 2. And if it is 0, that means number is even. If it is odd number, then the num modulo 2 will return a value as 1. Okay, why? Because 8 modulo 2. So if I divide 8 with 2, what will be the remainder? It is completely divisible. So remainder will be 0. And if I divide 9, 9 modulo 2. So what will be the remainder? It will be 1. Okay. So we are getting that particular 0 and 1 condition over here. So I'm just comparing if that value is equal to 0. Okay. If I perform a modulus operation and I calculated the remainder, and my remainder is giving me the value as 0. Okay, so I will get this particular value as even, otherwise it will be odd. Okay, so that's a simple use of if and else statement we saw over here. Okay, now then we solve this particular problem where a company has decided to give the bonus to those employee if his or her year of service is greater than equal to 6. Okay, so I have just created a variable, it's a service here, and I'm taking the input from the user. Okay, so if, and I'm checking if my service year is greater than equal to 6. So if the service year is greater than or equal to 6, then I'm printing eligible for bonus. If it is not greater than, okay, if I run this, so it is asking me for the service year. Enter the year of service. Okay, so let's say I put 5. Then 5 is greater than equal to 6? No, condition is false. If my condition is false, then the else block will be executed and it will print not eligible for bonus. Okay, very simple. Now, if my service here is, let's say, 10, then 10 is greater than equal to 6. Yes, condition is true. Okay, so it will print eligible for bonus. It is printing over here. Okay, now before I move forward to the new topic today, anyone have any doubts or any question into this if else statement? Please ask. No? Okay. Now let's have a one scenario. Okay, let's try to discuss a particular question. So suppose I have two input, A and B. Okay, A is some number and B is some number. I wanted to find which number which number is greater. Okay, this is what I want to find. Which number among these two will be greater? Okay, so we have learned something, conditional statement. Okay, so we can write. Okay, so I have just created a one scenario. So else B will be greater. Okay, this will be B. Oh, sorry. Else B is greater, right? Now, in this case of this small code, if you can see, I have a two number, A and B, and I wanted to check which one is greater. So I'm just putting a condition over here. If A is greater than B, see, it's a complete English. If A is greater than B, then print A is greater. Okay. If A is greater than A is not greater than B, means this condition returns false, then I'm printing B is greater. Very simple code. Let's try to write it. Okay. So take two integer values from the user and print the greatest among them. Okay. So now I'm taking two input values. Let's say I'm copy pasting this code over here. Okay. So I am taking two integer value. First is A, integer input into the first number, and B is integer input into the second number. Okay, let's do that. Let's run it. So into the first number, let's say I'm putting 10. Okay, into the second number, I'm putting 15. Now, if you check the value of A and B, then you can see that it will print A is 10 and B is 15. Now I wanted to check which number is greater. So I can write if A is greater than B. Let's put it into a bracket for better readability. If A is greater than B, okay, then I will print A is greater. Okay. Otherwise, else I can print B is greater. Okay. Now you can see that I have the values of A and B. Okay. So A is basically 10 and B is 15. Now if I run this, then what will be the output? If I run this cell, okay, so A is 10, B is 15, what will be the output? So this is A and this is B. Okay, A is 10, B is 15. What will be the output? Okay, one person said B is greater. What about others? Bhumita, you just said greater. Which one is greater? B is greater. Okay. So it will show B is greater. Okay. Let's check other way around. If I have the value, let's say A is 20 and B is 10. Okay. Then I'm printing A and B. Okay. So A is 20 and B is 10. Let's put a string over here. A is and simple string. B is comma. Okay. So A is 20, B is 10. Right. Now if I run this cell, then what will be the output? So it will show A is greater. Now tell me one thing. Is this code working perfectly fine to find which number is greater, or there is some issue with it? Now, assume a scenario. I'm putting A is 25 and B is 25. Okay, I'm printing the value of A and B, 25 and 25. If I run this cell now, run this piece of code, what will be the output? Come on, think about it. Sorry, I was speaking on mute. So if I run this, then it will say B is greater. But tell me one thing, is B actually greater? What do you think? B is greater? No, B is not greater than A. B is equal to A. So here, my simple if-else condition actually fails to cater some of the scenarios. Okay. And what is that scenario? So here, instead of two possibility, there are total three possibility. Okay, there are total three possibility. It is no longer yes or no or true or false or binary 0 and 1. Now there are total three possible situations. What are the possible situations? A is greater than B. Okay, A is greater than B. B is greater than A. B is greater than A. Okay. And the third scenario will be A is equal to B. Okay. A and B are equal. So when we write this, A is greater than B and B is greater than A. Okay. A is greater than B or vice versa. It is not checking the third scenario. If this is true, then these two must be false. Okay. But here there is only one false case. This code will not able to check the condition whether A is equal to B or not. Okay. So you can say, okay, sir, I will put equal to then. If my A is equal to B or not. Okay. Nice. Then if I run this 25, 25, you can check the value, then it will say A is greater. Again, it is not a correction in the code. Okay. So what to do now? So there is so many situations, so many possible scenarios you will face in your life where there are more than one possible scenarios. Okay. For an example, you are rolling a dice, okay, which you use in playing a Ludo. What are the possible outcomes? One, two, three, four, five, six. These are my possible outcome. Okay. Now, if you are playing the game of Ludo, when your uh, what we call point or balls or dice, whatever you will call it, okay, when it will come out, when you will get six, okay, and then other possible scenarios we have. Okay, so if let's talk about the very interesting example by which you guys can directly relate, it is called as a grading. Okay, for example, if we talk about the grades, okay, so into the grades, when we are talking about, if someone scored 90 to 100, then it is S plus, okay, then it will be S or S plus, then 80 to 90, this will be A, then 70 to 80, this will be B, okay, and so on, right? Then we may have, let's say, 80, 60 to 70, okay, this will be C, and so on, right? Now, if you have to create something or you want to, you have the marks of some students, okay, and you have to assign what? You have to assign the grades, okay. Now, if I ask you, a student's marks is, let's say, 87, what will be the grade?
A.
A, right? Now, if I ask you, a student marks is 93, what will be the grade? S or S plus, right? Now, if his marks is 72, what will be the grade? Now you can see that the grade will be B. The question over here is how we can handle more than one situation, because this part of if else code only give me a one condition. What if I have to check multiple condition? Okay. So for that, for checking the multiple condition, okay, for checking the multiple condition, what we have is we have to understand the concept of ELIF, ELIF. Okay, we have to understand the condition of ELIF statements. So how does a ELIF statement works? So in a normal if-else statement, you have a if, then let's call it as C1. C1 is condition 1. Okay. Then you have some line of codes over here. And then you have else. Okay. Let me draw the else a little lower. Then you have a else statement. Okay. And then into else, you again have some line of codes. Now, how this flow works, if this part returns true, okay, then body of if is executed, right? For true, then when it is true, then this part will be executed. When it will return false, then this part will be executed. Okay. Now, if I have more than one condition, then we are using the ELIF statement. What does ELIF do? So you have to write ELIF, ELIF, and then you can write your next condition, that is C2. Okay, another condition you can write, and when you are writing this another condition, okay, so you can write some piece of code for ELIF as well. Okay, now how does this flow works? So what happens is that if your if condition returns true, then if block will be executed. If it returns false, okay, if this returns false, right, then instead of directly going to else, it will go to ELIF. Okay, and into the ELIF there is another condition. So if this condition is false, then it will go to ELIF and it will check the condition. Okay, what is the condition? Now, if this condition returns true, okay, if this condition returns true, then the body of ELIF will be executed. Okay, body of ELIF if true. Okay, if this condition is true, then this line of code will be executed. Now, if this returns false, okay, then only the else block will be executed. It means that first it will check the condition C1. If it is true, then this part will execute. Then it will check, and then no other parts will be executed if it returns true. Okay. If this returns false, then it will come over here. It will come over here and it will check the condition, another condition which we got in ELIF. If this returns true, then the ELIF part will be executed and else will not execute. If ELIF also returning false, then else part will be executed. And whatever you have else, that will be executed. Now, let me show you this with an example. So we have a code of if I'm writing it over here. If, and I'm checking A is greater than B. Okay, then I'm writing print. I'm just writing print A is greater. Okay, P stands for print. ELIF. Now I'm checking my next condition. ELIF B is greater than A. Okay, then again colon and there will be indentation and I will print B is greater. Okay, now the third one will be else. So I will put else over here. Into the else there will be no condition. Remember that. Okay, else does not have, else does not have condition. Okay. So into the else, what it will print? If a number is A is greater than B, if this is false, then it will check whether a number B is greater than A. If this is also false, it means that the number is equal. The numbers are equal. So A is equal to B. Okay. Now, if I give you some scenarios, A is equal to 5, B is equal to 10. What will be the output? Which block will be executed? Just tell me that. If, elif, or else. A is 5, B is 10. Which one will be executed? Okay, so check. Very good. Those guys who said elif is absolutely correct. So A is 5, B is 10. 5 is greater than 10. Okay. 5 is greater than 10. No, it returns false. So if is not going to be executed. Okay. Then it will check, since it is false, then it will come over elif and it will check. 10 is greater than 5. Yes, this will return true. Okay, so if it returns true, then this part will be executed and we will get this output, that is B is greater. Okay, now everyone understood why it will print B is greater? Very good. Now if I change the scenario, okay, mm, let's say I'm changing the scenario. Okay, now if I have A and B, okay, and then I have 5 and let's say 15 and 10. Now which part will be executed? If, elif, or else? So if you check, 15 is greater than 10. Yes, this is true. So this part will be executed and other parts are not going to be executed, right? Now if I change the scenario again, third possibility, if I change my input to A is 10 and B is 10, okay, now which one is going to be executed? Why else will be executed? Let's check that. 10 is greater than 10. No, 10 is not greater than 10. This is false. So if it is false, then it will come to elif. Elif will check, okay, B is 10, A is 10. So 10 is greater than 10. This is again false. Okay. Now, since this is false, then it will come to else and it will simply return A is equal to B. Okay. So it is not like you have already always have A is equal to B in the else. You can change it according to your requirement. Okay. But this is something you have to frame. Okay. So that's how your brain actually function. If I'm giving you two number, A is this and B is this, You are checking, okay, 10 is greater than 10. No. Then you are checking another one. Okay, B is greater than A. No. It means A is not greater than B. B is not greater than A. Then you are saying, okay, then both the numbers are equal. Okay. So it is something that you are doing in your real life as well. Okay. Now, if I show you the code for this, okay. So this is the code. A, and I'm then taking the input, then B, and then I have a situation of if A is greater than B, then I'm printing A is greater. If B is greater than A, then I'm printing B is greater. Else, I'm printing A equals to B. Okay, now let's try to do that. A is 5, B is 10. Okay, B is greater. Check again. A is 15, B is 10. A is greater. And now if I check 10 and 10, you can see it is giving me A equals to B. Okay, that was not possible over here. Okay, when I was giving 10 and 10 and I'm checking with this code, so this code was not able to give me the correct answer. But right now, this code is able to give me the correct answer. Okay, now I'm giving you 2 minutes to understand this code by your own once, even though you have already performed this exercise. Okay, but yeah, I'm just giving you 2 minutes to write it down or like test it in your system, but try to grasp it. Okay. Okay. This is clear to everyone, guys? Yes, no?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Now, the another point is between if and else. So whenever you have to use elif, okay, it should be always between if and else. If you just have a one condition, then you can simply use if and else. If you have more than one condition, then you will use if and then elif and then else. Okay, it is not like you can directly use elif. Okay, you have to first use if and then elif and then else. Okay, second point is you can use as many elif as you want. For example, if we talk about this case, the grades one, okay, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say I'm putting one more condition. Okay, if I have a scenario, let's say less than 60, then this will be grade D. Okay. Now, if you check, so how many conditions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so there are 5 possibility. Okay, in this A is greater, B is greater, and equal, we check 3. Now, what about this? We have total 5. Okay, so the concept is you can use as many elif as you want. Okay, you can use as many elif as you want. Okay, that's the case. So let me show you. So suppose I have this code. Okay, now in this code, if you can see that I have multiple conditions. Okay, so what is the first condition? I'm just taking an input and I'm checking multiple things that x is less than 10. First thing that I'm checking whether my number is less than 10 or not. Okay. If my number or input is less than 10, then if block will be executed. Otherwise, I'm simply in this code, I'm checking in which range my number belongs, my input number. So here you can see if it is belong, X is, this is a simple linear inequality equation. It is not a very rocket science condition, a basic class 6 maths. Okay. X is greater than equal to 10 and less than 20. Okay. So I have a one condition over here. So if my X belongs to 10 to 20, this is how you will write it in maths. Okay. So I'm printing X is in range of 20s. Now here X is, now I have provided, see here there is no equality. I have provided equality over here. Okay. So 20 is less than or equal to X and less than 30 means X is greater than equal to 20 and less than 30. So this is X in range of 30s. Elif. Then I'm checking whether it is between 30 to 40. Otherwise, I'm saying X is greater than 40. Okay, let's try to check this. So first I will test with a number 5. So my number or my input X is less than 10. Absolutely fine. Check again. 15. Okay, so X is in range of 20s, means it is between 10 to 20s. Okay, next one. 25. Then it is satisfying this condition. X is less than 10? No, condition is false. X is in between 10 and 20. So it is X is greater than 10. Sorry, X is less than or greater than or equal to 10. This part is true, but this part is false. It is not less than 20. Okay, it's 25. So this also returns false. You can see that. Okay, so if I'm putting X is 25, then it will returns false. Okay, because 25 is greater than 10, but it is not less than 20. Both the conditions are not satisfied. Now, if I check for, let's say 36, then X is in range of 40, means it is in this range. Okay, so here, if I write 40, then it is showing X is greater than 40. So here I have to write equality as well. Okay, means I can write one more elif condition to make my code perfect. So elif x equal 40. Okay, then I can print x is equal to 40. Okay, why? Because if I'm just writing x is greater than 40 means greater than 40, that statement is not correct if I have a value 40. Okay, because here I do not have a equality. Okay, so now if I'm putting 40, then it will give me the correct output. Okay, x is equal to 40. Now you can see that in this particular piece of code, I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different conditions I have used. Okay, and If this returns true, then this part will be executed. If this returns false, then it will check this condition. If this is true, then this will execute and rest all of them will not execute. If this returns false, then it will check this one. In case of true, this will execute. All of them will be skipped. And if this is false, then this will be checked. Then this will be checked in case of false. And then if everything returns false, then this will be executed. For example, if I'm taking 55, okay, x is less than 10, no, false. X is between 10 to 20, no, false. Between 20 to 30, no, false. 30 to 40, no, false. 40 equal, no, false. Then x is greater than 40. Okay. After failing all this condition, when everything fails, then this part will be executed. Okay. So this is a conditional statement with an elif clause. Okay, where we are using the elif. Okay. Now, anyone have any doubts or any question in this? Elif. Okay. If not, then I am giving you a one simple exercise of the grades. Where is that? Yeah. So this is one exercise right now you guys have to do, that you have to find the grades of for the number for the where the input is a marks. Okay, 0 to 100. Okay, the marks will be from 0 to 100 and you have to assign some grades to it. Okay, if a person is scored marks greater than or equal to 90, then you have to assign the grade A. Okay, if it is between 80 to 90, then you have to assign the grade B. Okay, in case of 70 to 80, you have to assign C. 60 to 70, you have to assign D. If there is any other marks, means less than 60, then it would be grade E. Okay, else E. So you have to create one variable as marks by which you can write the conditional statements. Okay, and here I have given you a sample elif block, that how you can write the interval or the condition. Okay, try to write this code. I'm giving you a couple of minutes, like 5 to 7 minutes for it. Okay, but please write it. Please. Guys, any progress or any challenge that you are facing? Just post in the chat box what you are writing, or so that I would know that where you guys are making the mistake. Okay, or what is the challenge that you are facing, and I will try to help you. Okay, whatever you have written till now, just send it into the chat box. But please write it. Okay. Okay, let me show you how you can do that. So first of all, let me remove this part, and let me also remove this part. Okay, so this is a simple code that we have over here. Okay, I'm taking one input integer, which is a floating point number, and then simply I'm checking whether my number is grade between 90 to 100. Means it is less than 100. Okay, because there is a scenario, someone has given that greater than 90. So what if someone enters 101? Maximum marks is 0 to 1, 100. Okay, so I have provided this over here, right? Now, if the marks is in this range, that is n is less than 100 and greater than 90, then the grade will be A. Okay, then I'm checking if it is between 80 to 90, then grade will be B. 70 to 80, grade will be C. Okay, and then there will be one more condition. So I will add one more condition for the grade D. Okay, so this will be 60 to 70. Okay, then I will print grade D. Otherwise, I will print grade E. Okay, so this is the code for it. Give me a second, Harish. I will check it. Okay. Now, if I just run this, so if I just put some spaces for the clarity, now you can see if it is between 90 to 100, then grade will be A, 80 to 90, grade will be B, 70 to 80, grade will be C, and 60 to 70, grade will be D, else it is E. I will run this, and you can see if I put marks as, let's say, 85. Okay, so this is grade B. Okay, then let's say I'm putting 95, then grade is A. I'm putting, let's say, 48, then grade is E. Why? Because all these conditions are false. Okay, and it will give me the grade as E. Then we can put 78, then grade will be C, right? So this is a one very simple code that you can write to check the if and elif statements. Okay. Now, if you can see that, let me check for a couple of folks. Okay, who sent this? Okay. If x is less than 60, then grade E. Very good. 60 to 70, then grade D. 70 to 80, then grade C. 80 to 90, grade B. Marks is greater than 90, grade A. And else printf. Okay. Everything is correct. Instead of this else, you can skip this particular else. But you have added, yeah, according to the condition. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. There are some problem in the question itself. Okay, that we will discuss in the next class. But yeah, that was correct. Okay, I got one more message from Lalita. Let me see that. Okay, marks is greater than 90 A, 80 to 90 B, 70 to 80 C, 60 to 70 D, else E. Very good. That's correct. Okay. Now, So this is how if an elif statement works. Okay. What is the next thing is that if you can check, if I check for the input 105, okay, for an example, then I'm getting grade E. So the first of all, this input that I am getting, this is not correct. Okay, this is not correct. Okay, because my input is restricted between 0 to 100. Maximum marks in the exam that a person can score is 100 marks. Okay, and if I'm writing 105, that means that is incorrect. But your code is accepting the value of 105. So in the next class, we are going to see that how we can restrict it. Okay, means I will only check. So I have a condition by which we are assigning the grade. Okay, so before the assignment of the grade, I can check whether my input is valid or not. Means before running all these stuff, we can check whether we are getting a right input or not. Means we are, before running our main code, we will check one condition. Okay, and then only we will check all these conditions. Then that is called as a nested if else statement. Okay, that is called as a nested if else statement. Okay, now how does this nested if else statement looks like? Okay, so what happens is that if I just quickly give you an example, okay, so if you have, let's say you have total, you have to borrow some money from your friend. Okay, you have to borrow some money from your friend. Okay, for the Valentine's Day. Okay, if you got 500, you will go for a coffee date. Okay, if you are able to borrow, let's say 1000, okay, then you will go in some cafe for some snacks. Okay, if you able to borrow, let's say 2000, okay, then you are going in a restaurant. Okay, and let's say you borrowed 5000, then you are going for a fine dine dinner today. Yeah, today is a Valentine Day. Happy Valentine Day to all of you. Then you are going for a fine dine dinner with your girlfriend. Okay. Now tell me one thing. Very interesting. Okay. All these scenarios, and if I put it into a condition, then you can simply write if money M is equal to, or let's say is less than 500, then this is the condition. And then you can write elif M is less than, means this is greater than 500, okay, and less than 1000, then you are going for a cafe. Okay, then simply you are writing for this 1000, 2000, and all these stuff. Okay, now tell me one thing. All these scenarios will only be applicable when your girlfriend said yes, right? Then only you will check all these scenarios, na? That whether you are going for a coffee or a cafe or a restaurant or a fine dine. Okay, it means that before going into this piece of the code that we have over here, okay, there will be one condition. If, okay, girlfriends or the crush answer is equal, yes. Okay, then only you are going to check the money, that how much money you have, where you are going for a date, and else, okay, else chai. If you have less than 500 or more than some situation, last option chai. Okay, So if, and then this else that we are going to have over here, if your girl said no, then what? Cry. Okay. Or maybe something with friends, right? Then you are not going at this part. So there is no need of checking all this stuff. Okay. So there is so many scenarios we have to deal with where we are doing something when a particular condition is satisfied. So this condition is satisfied, then only you will do all this stuff. Okay, if it is not satisfied, then you will do some other stuff. Okay, it may have some condition over here. Okay, that whether you are going for a drive, or you are going for a chai with friends, or you are going for like house party or something, that is completely up to you. Okay, that can be a possibilities. So the point was, you can see there is a if statement. Inside a if statement, there is again a if statement. So when you have a conditional statement inside a conditional statement, this is what we called as a nested conditional statement. Nested conditional statement. Okay, or nested if else. Okay, so in this code, we have to apply the similar logic. Before I go with this piece, I have to check whether my input is genuine or not. And then how we can implement the nested if else, couple of concepts is around there. We will discuss that into the next class. Okay, but I'm just giving you the idea why this conditional statement is so much important. Okay, okay, so that's it from my side today. Anyone have any doubts or any question, then you guys can ask. One person said, this is my first class, please send the recorded. Okay, I will ask the program manager, or you can reach out to the program manager. I do not have the access of the recorded session link, Alish Vanthi. Okay, sorry if I pronunciate your name wrong. And then they can provide you. Okay, you can talk to maybe Gautam or Pooja, and they will provide you the link. Okay. Okay, anyone else? Any other doubts or questions for today's class, or anything that you are not able to understand in the last sessions? No? Great. Let's meet on Monday then. Okay. Keep practicing and keep revising the previous stuff. Okay. If you are not revising the previous stuff, then you will not able to excel the Python. Okay. That's something very much important. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's meet on Monday, and I'm again wishing you all of you guys, a very happy Valentine's Day. Okay, I really hope everyone got something for today. Okay, have a great day. Sorry, have a great night ahead. Bye bye. Black day. Oh my God. What happened, Arvind? Why it's a black day for you? Soldiers at, oh, the Pulwama attack. Right, right, right. I remember that. Yes, yes, yes. Couple of years back. Om Shanti. Okay, okay, guys. Yeah, enjoy your day and night as well. Bye bye.